Yes, guys, so we have finally made it. We are finally back again for another reaction on this Brbptv, Be Real, Be Positive Television, brothers and sisters. I'm your boy Mystics. Welcome to each and every one of you guys who've definitely tuned in. I just want to tell you guys I do appreciate you guys. And of course, this is where I'm getting my thoughts on this vibrations that is about to take place in a moment, brothers and sisters. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts right there in the comment box below, guys. And of course, give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that right there and then. Now, guys, with that said, let us get into the vibrations right there. Now, guys, a number of persons were sending this to me, and I saw this in a number of groups, brothers and sisters, and I was wondering what on earth is going on there. There's some sort of Caribbean island that is preparing to become hurricane proof. And of course, this article is entitled from The Conversation. It is entitled, How a Small Caribbean Island is Trying to Become Hurricane Proof. It's trying to become hurricane proof. Now, when I think of hurricane proof, I'm not thinking about Dominica at all, because I know we are trying to be resilient, and apparently we have no idea where that went. But this article, which of course is written yesterday on November 28th, 2023, around 5:03 p.m. Greenwich Meridian time. And of course, it reads right there, when Hurricane Maria struck the Caribbean island of Dominica in 2017, they finally give the name so they know what they're talking about right there on the basis of which Caribbean island. So I'm guessing, oh no, we don't know yet. We don't really know yet, because they could just be using that as a reference. Okay, don't judge a book by its cover, brothers and sisters. Anyways, Hurricane Maria struck the Caribbean island of Dominica in 2017. It caused serious devastation, which is unthinkable to pretty much the larger countries right there, much less for the smaller countries. What about the smaller countries? Anyways, the category 5 hurricane, I think, is a category 50 hurricane, pretty much damaged 98% of building roofs and caused about 1.2 billion US dollars, which is about equated to about 950 million pounds, brothers and sisters, or euros, whichever it is, right there, of damages, brothers and sisters. Dominica effectively lost about 226% of its gross domestic profit product overnight, brothers and sisters. Now, this is very interesting right there. Now, we know Dominica was in a turmoil, no doubt about it. Everybody can agree that Dominica was indeed in a turmoil. I remember when individuals from overseas were saying, guys, Dominica has gone completely black. Oh, I remember that, man. Anyways, brothers and sisters, climate change is increasingly, this is what the article say. First of all, I don't believe climate change is a real thing, because before they were talking about global warming here and there, all those kind of things there, and then the evidence that is proven is totally contrary. To the point where we hear in the Gates partner is saying, guys, don't build trees. He's saying, don't build trees. Don't build trees. That's what he's saying. Don't build back trees. Some people just for a lack of a better word, stupid. You know, Bill Gates come in and tell people don't build that trees. It wouldn't affect the environment. And when you know where there's trees, it's a cooler environment. But he telling people don't. I don't think he's thinking thoroughly right. Anyways, climate change is increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events in the Caribbean, which of course is lie. If you notice, back in the 18th century, early 19th centuries, brothers and sisters, there were some seriously dangerous hurricanes during that time. So when people want to say, oh, no, we have terrible hurricanes, no, brothers and sisters, there were worse hurricanes. Google it. You can Google it for yourself. You know, I know I must not always Google stuff for you to show you. I know it's a reaction, but at the end of the day, Google it and find out if it's true. The worst hurricanes in history, you'll find that it doesn't take place today. Yes, we are category 5 and these things there, you know, ruffling up the place, but there were much terrible hurricanes back in the 18s. I think one was in 1913, another one was in 1915, another one was somewhere within the 1800s, brothers and sisters. You can check it out for yourself, brothers and sisters. 1923 is another one, I believe it is. So there were a number of terrible ones back in the day. Anyways, that's what the article is saying. Climate change is increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events in the Caribbean, and for small islands such as Dominica, that you confuse the Dominican Republic, it is the existential threat right there. Unlike larger islands like Cuba and Jamaica, a single storm hitting Dominica can damage the entire country. Well, the hurricanes are not small, you know, brothers and sisters. The hurricanes are pretty big. So even if it's Cuba and thing, the hurricanes will pretty much cover the whole thing. You don't see when a hurricane going in Miami, it's all the way up North Carolina and all these other places. So it can, yes, they're not small. So talking about the size of the small islands, just because they're larger than one doesn't make a difference. All right. A single storm hitting Dominica can damage the entire country with its mountainous terrain and steep slopes everywhere. Most of the country is prone to either landslides, of course, we know that is true, or flooding. The topography and small size of the island imposes hard limits and blah blah blah. Okay, I want to see where they're talking about. So this is, I think this is in Roseau. Actually did a video. Wow. Yeah, this is, well, when I passed, this was cleared out. So, you know, yes, Mother Nature speaks. This is why Dominica ranks 11 of the most risk out of 150 countries in the 2021 Global Climate Risk Index. It's rather interesting that they had a meeting around that same time. Oh no, around that time, no, before that. And they never invited Dominica to to it. But Dominica is on the way to becoming climate resilient. Yes, hi. Yes, brothers and sisters. What, not climate, what they say there? Hurricane proof. All right then. Anyways, reeling from the Hurricane Maria, the island prime minister, this individual set the bold ambition of becoming the first climate resilient nation. He said that back. We have not seen any sort of proof or anything like that. They will build house, and they say these houses are hurricane proof. And next thing, a little rainfall, and you know this house was leaking and all sorts of things. So hopefully they improve on that dynamic there. But of course, in Dominica's case, this means being able to handle more intense hurricanes and more frequent flooding, blah, blah, blah. Of course, which I don't think anything has been done. Even the Portsmouth has gotten a number of rivers. The road is one of the rivers by the park. So I don't understand what they're talking about when they're saying this. I know they did dredging of the rivers, which is a good thing. But when it comes on to the whole general thing, how has Dominica become, or is trying to become hurricane proof? I'm still trying to look for it right there. Anyways, based on what the article is saying, really blah blah blah. Okay, there was no climate blueprint to pick up and follow. It had to be created from scratch, obviously. Well, I wouldn't say that, because I think that has been talked about for a while now. But I guess, you know, when it comes down to the Caribbean, that's a bit different. Dominica developed a clear set of targets and a roadmap, combining everything from building designs to nature-based power sources and climate-resilient crop systems. Brothers and sisters, right now, Dominica is facing something called load shedding. Dominica is facing something called load shedding. So when they come talking about power sources and this kind of things, I don't think we doing it. We're not there yet, brothers and sisters. In these modern times, Dominica is suffering from load shedding, brothers and sisters. That means we have to stop electricity at a point in time. I remember there's a video of Steve Harvey talking about that in one of these things. I think I should do a reaction on this. You guys will let me know right there. But we are suffering, brothers and sisters. And you think nature-based power sources, I'm guessing they're talking about geothermal, which has not been, has not happened yet. Now, if they're creating geothermal, that means they have to protect the geothermal from hurricanes. Are they creating a hurricane-resistant geothermal plant? Are they doing something like that? I don't know. But all I know, they're creating geothermal, and I'm guessing that's what they're talking about right there. They're probably trying to mix in everything, but it does make sense from what we're actually seeing. Objectively speaking, brothers and sisters, I'm not seeing this. Have you? You guys can let me know in the comment box below. Have you seen any sort of, hurricane-proof designs being built in Dominica? Anywhere? Like anywhere, brothers and sisters? Seems like they're trying to make it based on natural-based power sources and climate-resilient crop systems. What? Climate-resilient crop systems? Brothers and sisters, I hope it's not fake GMO products all you're talking about there. I hope it's not that they're talking about, oh, we're creating some fake product. We're making them last longer. And as a result of lasting longer, it can affect the human body. That is not a good thing. If that is what they're talking about right there, that's not a good thing. So that is not being, not beneficial to the human existence. Anyways, I am a climate resilient researcher, this individual saying, with particular expertise in small island development states. Over the years, I have worked with Pacific, this individual was telling us where they work, and Caribbean islands during or as a result of the hurricanes that have devastated the country. So I'm guessing that person is not only sticking to Dominica, but they're talking about hurricane-proof island. Okay, in 2019, I was brought in to serve as an advisor to Dominica newly established climate resilient agency, which is foolishness. I don't understand. Brothers and sisters, we're talking about, I don't understand human beings. Human beings just make up things, brothers and sisters. This is one of the things that they're pushing. You hear, and they're trying to have all sorts of meetings for climate, and Logic will tell you, brothers and sisters, look at the span of time. We are actually cooling, not getting our best of 16 million years, brothers and sisters. They have made the comparison. Some people want to make it based on a few 100,000 years. That's what they say. Personally, I don't think the world is that old, but of course, when age can be added, it kind of reminds you of the story that I heard of Adam. Was Adam born a baby and grew up, or was Adam born a man, or created as a man and had age applied to him? You know? So if that was what Adam was created, then on the basis of the earth, then did the earth start on zero, or did the earth start with age? You understand what I'm saying? Adam, from our understanding, was not born a baby. He didn't grow up past teenage years and become a man. We understood that he was already a man, created a man, and then given the mandate to rule and have dominion over everything. Eve was also created on the basis of that, and she had applied age to her. She was not a baby starting on zero. You get my drift? So in the earth, the same. Anyways, guys, I'm just thinking and putting things into perspective right there. But on the basis of how the scientists have created it, it pretty much goes against all this climate thing that they're talking about. There's literally no proof, and they're making the basis on what? Carbon, CO2. That's what they're making their thing on CO2. And when you find out, you can Google it yourself, you know, guys. CO2 in the atmosphere is just 0.04%, for which 3% of the 0.04% is used by humans. But they're trying to make it talk about these things and so forth. We can do nothing about this, brothers and sisters. Mother Nature will do what Mother Nature wants to do. I understand during the Industrial Revolution, we pretty much affected the atmosphere. I understand that. But since that time, this has gone. And then when you have the experts come and tell you, oh, it's the animals that's the problem. Don't make them squat in the land. Don't make them eat grass. Don't make them do this. Don't. A set of human just... Let me leave that there. Anyways, in 2019, I brought the blah 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 to advise. In a film, I'm guessing this individual created the film. Some architects of the country climate resilience strategy explain how Dominica is building back better and stronger in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Guys, I'm not sure if that is the case at all, because we have no idea what it is. I have passed all across Dominica. There's still tarpaulins on buildings, brothers. Yes, pass around. Go in the countrysides and just pass around, brothers and sisters. You won't see as much blue things, but there are still some there. Remnants of that of which Hurricane Maria had caused. Alright? So when they talk about building back better, I'm guessing individuals probably abandoned these buildings and left the tarpaulins there and they went about their business. I guess that is it. Or maybe they haven't got insurance yet to build back their stuff. I don't know what the case is. Or maybe they didn't have insurance. So I guess they're just trying to work harder or something for them to be able to get back the funds. What is this?
There was this storm coming in. We're all flying away.
Guys, I cannot play the audio.
What I do remember is the beauty of the reefs.
Lennox talking about, there's Lennox Onichi talking about beauty of the reef, and then you was talking about the destruction of the reef up Wesley side, Woodford Hill area, saying, oh, that's normal when ships come in, that used to happen before. Not maybe me that misunderstood you, mister, but you talking about the beauty of the reefs, and talk about the destruction for individuals to come in and bring trucks. That's I don't even finishing that. Buying from everyone. What? Anyways, government must work across silos, and no single agency or department can be responsible for building resilience. Now, when they talk about resilience, guys, I must admit that we were told a number of things that we need to do. When you're building back your roofs, instead of using nails, use screws, because screws are better able to grip. When the galvanized is put up and stuff, builds with screws, so it's better to able to grip. But when Mother Nature rocking your roof, it doesn't, break. But at least it will still be better to have screws instead of nails, because nails don't have the necessary grip into the boards that the screws have. So that's one of the things that we were told. So I'm guessing a number of persons actually did this across the island. But when it comes on to hurricane proof, let's not stretch it, brothers and sisters. We're still having problems with water. Water, little tropical thing, and waters all over the place, and people are displaced. There's some of the bridges that are still under. We have bridges. they're not hurricane resilient. They still under. When water passing over the bridge. Normally I know water supposed to pass on that bridge, but we still have some anti-hurricane resilient bridges, brothers and sisters, because Dominica more than 300 rivers. Okay, I guess this 65 come out. Okay, I guess we're going down in numbers now. Anyways, it's thinking about how and where infrastructure is building in relation to slopes, rivers, and the sea. It is also about education and buy-in to ensure island residents can effectively play their part. Has this been done? The only thing I know about is the screws thing, and some individuals say they want to build their concrete roofs, which is obviously more money that they're going to be using already in a bad economy, and that's not necessarily always a good thing. So those who can, those who can't, well, you know, get screws if you can get screws. But some people still build back their stuff with nails. I remember being in a particular area and I saw the people working on the roof, and I say, hey guys, only forget to use screws. They said, well, screws are expensive, they have nails. So I guess some people definitely decided to go back to the nails. So I'm not really sure what they're talking about right there. The education, has this happened? I don't think so. The country has 20 targets for resilience in 2030. By 2030, you see, it's the 2030 agenda, including an aim for all communities to be self-sufficient for 14 days following a disaster. That would be a nice thing if the communities can do that. But what exactly has Dominica done in that regard? We have no clue. The aim is for 90% of all housing to be built or retrofitted to comply with resilient building codes. Now, brothers and sisters, I understand what they're saying there. I heard some sentiment to that regard, true. But when it comes down to the actuality of doing it, when you tell people that they need to do certain things to build things on their house and they cannot afford to do it, you know that's gonna just go in one ear and come on the next. So I'm guessing maybe they will try to build the houses for people, or isn't that what they're doing right now when they're putting people in apartments and you know, government build apartments because the people cannot really create houses and stuff for themselves. Anyways, let's hope and pray for the best. Natural resources are key. Okay, what are they saying about this? About 2/3 of Dominica is covered in natural vegetation and forest. These plants and the coral reefs surrounding the island provide a critical buffer against winds and waves, and so need to be protected. I think on the basis of, you know, the mountains, instead of cutting down the mountains, you can actually preserve them, you know, and do some stuff in that regard. But I'm not a hurricane expert. I guess up to now I'm not seeing how Dominica is trying to become. I think the person is just saying what she thinks or he thinks. He thinks what he thinks should be done. But I'm not really seeing anything when it comes down to Dominica that actually has been done. This is a part of the resilient plan. Which increases protected forest areas and maintains healthy coral reefs around the island through, well, the coral reefs is for the sea. So if we preserved, I guess the waves would not be, you know, as boisterous as the thing, because they will have to pass through the coral reefs first. The coral reefs kind of break down the waves from time to time, brothers and sisters. That's also something that I saw on I think it's Discovery or something like that, or something I was watching on YouTube. I remember seeing them talk about the coral reefs, or even putting things in the sea. So when they're pretty much talking about tsunamis, so they have things in the sea. By the time the tsunami reaches, it will already break down. These things will break down in the sea. So maybe Dominica is trying to do this, but it has not done it yet. So trying to do it is another story in that regard right there. Dominica's natural assets can also fuel its growth. I do believe in agriculture 100%, literally. Dominica aims to become carbon neutral through 100 domestic renewable energy production, which includes investment in geothermal that will produce enough energy to export to neighboring Caribbean islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique right there. We have not reached that yet, so I don't know how they're doing it. Hopefully, we know that geothermal is being worked with, brothers and sisters, but when it comes down to the viability factor, we have no clue how that is right there. And remember, geothermal could also affect the environmental regions. So that's something you can research it for yourself, you know, guys. Look and see how geothermal affects the atmosphere, so you guys can let me know what you find out as well. Learning from history and indigenous practices, the plantation economy imposed on Dominica under British, blah blah blah, which focused on one crop after another. Sugar, cocoa, blah, was not well suited to the country's difficult terrain and frequency. I'm guessing maybe that person has a understanding right there. Yeah, Dominica also has the Caribbean largest remaining indigenous community. I'm not really sure what that has to do with hurricane resilient. Probably putting the Kalinago people first, you know, to wind and wave. And I'm not really sure how that is, but I'm guessing talk about Kalinago people have farming practices that combine crop diversification with planting methods that help stabilize slopes. Well, you can just put vines, you know. You can put vines there and make the thing tighten up the mountain, you know, and then put mesh, you know, put mesh and stuff. But another thing, another individual pointed out to me, when they're doing stuff on the mountain, brothers and sisters, they tend to make it smooth. Why don't they make it like steps? You know, that's one of the things that I noticed in Jamaica. Well, the mountains are built in steps. So if there's landslides and whatnot, at least it can flow to the next step, and slow it down rather than just having gravity. Just bring the whole thing down. So if the Dominican individuals are watching, I think steps on the mountainsides would help, you know, to decrease and protect the people even better when it comes down to landslides. Wouldn't that help? I think that would help, especially under the Kinfield Cliff and stuff. Build, you know, under Coolibee Street Cliff, Monratchet Cliff area. Brothers and sisters, if you notice on the Monratchet, I did an aerial shot of this. You come outside and people are literally living on top boulders, and under the boulders, there's some sort of degrading taking place. So when you're thinking on bare land on top mountain, below, check out the aerial video, brothers and sisters. Coolibee Street aerial Dominica, or Monratchet aerial Dominica. Check that out, brothers and sisters, and you will see just under where people live in, the mountain is grading out, and people living on top. Boy, God good, boy. God does protect my boy. But hey, that is where they buy land. What they gonna do? They buy land somewhere else or something? I don't know. Who is the people are looking out for the people of Dominica when it comes down to these things? Hey guys, I don't think this is a good place to live. They remove the people of PT Savan, and they put them somewhere. The people go back to PT Savan. I know PT Savan is not a bad place to be, but when you look at places like Monratchet, I think that is the areas you need to remove people, because I mean the earth is under is literally undermining, brothers and sisters. But what do I know? We're creating hurricane resilient country. Yeah, Dominica has also the largest applying lessons from history, and yeah, okay. A collective voice with other islands. Dominica climate blueprint should be seen as an opportunity for doing. But brothers and sisters, what is the climate blueprint that we have? What is the climate blueprint? I don't know it. You guys know it. All I know, the climate blueprint that we have is screws in your galvanized. That's, anyways, development partners to support a vision that already exists. First of all, I don't believe climate. There's no such thing as climate stuff. What, you know, people want to push narratives, so they will continue pushing narratives. Rich nations have yet to fulfill the goal of 100 billion in climate finance for poorer nations. Why are we talking about these things, brothers and sisters? I don't get it. I don't get it. That was probably a lady that wrote this thing. So why did I see? Maybe the Derek is the individual who took the shots. But I don't know. We're talking about this thing as if we can do something about it. I remember there have been a number of things that was supposed to come and never came. There was a Y2K bug thing that was supposed to come that never came. Building fear in people to make people afraid. Now don't get me wrong, you know, guys. Because there are hurricanes coming, you definitely need to prepare your house. You can't just decide, let me build my straws on the beach. No, brothers and sisters, that don't make sense. You need to build a strong enough house because you're in the hurricane belt. That makes sense, you know. But when they're talking about different things about the whole world and saying climate change and all kind of something there, but that does that really add up though? Does that really add up? I mean, we need to think about this, man. I heard Mia Motley making noise about that already, telling the richer nations they need to support, you know, climate stuff in the Caribbean and so forth and so forth. I don't know. That's why Caribbean heads of state are increasingly finding their voices on the wider global financial system. With Barbie, look, I just mentioned that Barbie, the Prime Minister, I know she likes to push this, spearheading the Bridgetown Initiative, a set of financial reform which would benefit highly indebted. But brothers and sisters, when I look at all these things, now you guys can read this stuff. I'm just gonna stop it right there. When I look at how all these things going, I look at what the richer countries are doing. The richer countries who pretty much have the richer folks in there. What are they doing? We're talking about climate resilient. Oh, we should have less carbon in the atmosphere. But when they go into meetings and stuff, they fly in their private jets. They fly in their private jets all over the place. And not to say they're collecting people, so they can fly in one jet. Each of them have their own private jet to fly to the place. So if you have 400 prime ministers or something coming to your country, each of them have their own private jet, 400 prime ministers going with their own private jet to say they're going to talk about climate change. I think that's very, very, very thing. Now, when it comes down to the buying powers, brothers and sisters, if you know that things are heating up, right? Why are you then buying global? Why are you buying beach properties and this kind of things there? I mean, if you know for a fact that these things are actually real and in your face, things are getting bad to worse, why are you then buying beach properties? If you say the Antarctic sinking or the Antarctic melting and the Arctic melting and what have you, brothers and sisters, wouldn't that mean that the sea levels will rise? Wouldn't that mean the sea levels will rise? So buying beach property, not you that will go first. Help me make it make sense, brothers and sisters. So when these people come in and talk about resilient, first of all, the whole article is just talking about what they think should happen right there. So when they're talking about how a small Caribbean island is trying to become hurricane proof, I have no idea what this person is talking about. I have not seen it. Have you seen it? Maybe I doesn't go out much. Have you seen this, brothers and sisters? How is Dominica pretty much trying to become hurricane proof right there? Let me know, guys, if you know that in the comment box below, so I can be educated. I want to be educated. This is just my thoughts on what I just read. There's literally nothing being proven there outside of this saying that they're trying to work on geothermal to do what? To do where was it now? Natural based power sources, and then climate resilient crop systems. Brothers and sisters, myself, I stand far from this climate resilient crop systems on the basis that if you see, maybe they're talking about having houses and this kind of things there to create organic products. If it's that, I for it. But from what that reading, like there's like resilient crops that will not be, that will not deteriorate. And when crops doesn't deteriorate, brothers and sisters, GMO crops, they don't hold the nutrients in them, so you're pretty much eating stuff. That's one of the things I have to point out as well, brothers and sisters. In this day and age, we are eating a lot of food, but we are eating a lot of food without proper nutrients in them. So when you think you're getting nutrients from fruits and stuff that are fake, so to speak, they have been forced ripe and this kind of things, then not being able to take on the proper nutrients within time. If you make something grow fast, brothers and sisters, as a result of the things that you're giving it, it will not be able to pull in the proper nutrients if it took it time. Okay? So, when we're talking about all these things, brothers and sisters, you have to be mindful, You have to be mindful what we're putting in our bodies. That's another thing that we need to be watchful of. Because we're eating things that just making us big and just elongated. And then we're calling it water weight. Oh my God, I have water weight. I saw this on Instagram. Some 600 person saying, but yeah, doctor, is water weight I have. Anyways, guys, this is just my thoughts. I have not seen what this person is talking about, because they say is trying to become hurricane proof. I have not seen any is action verb there. Action word there, brothers and sisters. I have not seen that right there. So you guys can let me know. Have you seen it? If you have, let me know that in the comment box below so other people can know right there. What are your thoughts, guys? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And with that said, give this video a thumbs up if you understand it. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notification so you can get all the videos as they tend to come through. With that said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, guys, be real, be positive.